So composure is 5, so it's an even chance, but +1 more than poor health and +1 disturbed motorics. So let's try and assess his body language.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild,
He is surprisingly okay.
indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Animated by what?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system.
Dementia?
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile. Is this some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
Mr. Dross, are you on some kind of psychoactive substance?
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
Didn't he say?
Did you take painkillers?
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses, not enough money for a greedy doctor.
Are you sure about him being lucid? Maybe he's just affected by an extreme case of socialism. It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
How about Pyrrolidon?
I don't know what that is.
He shakes his head. Are you on amphetamines?
Like some kind of decadent rock star.
He doesn't dignify it with more of an answer. Mr. Dross, are you okay? How is your memory?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
He waves his hand, chasing something that's not there.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
That's what you have used it for. I suppose that is the question I asked you. What have you been using this gun for? I have used it for killing people. Not, what are you using this gun for?
Here we go. A trail of blood. Even the kid can smell it.
Killing people? Like straight offing them?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
But the real question is, why?
You mean like lately? After the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
He shakes his head and smiles, his teeth rotten black. So this is someone who thinks there is still a war, clearly.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. Okay.
So how many?
This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while.
But what?
This is what you live for. This is the shit.
This is the climax of being a detective.
The great serotonin jackpot. The solution.
Yep.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Well, there's a lot of easy checks here from my thoughts. So, go in straight, make him repeat it, don't mess it up, he wants to tell you. Get personal. You're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell? I know you want to tell me, have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two? Wait, so which one do I say then? That, I think, is the most important thing, because I've got these thoughts fighting each other in my head, essentially. Which one do I say?
Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you. And in them, a chill, like electricity running up your spine, crawling into your skull.
What?
All is not as it seems.
Okay.
Well,
Kuno turns to you with impatience. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell?
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
A corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling rags. Did you shoot him? The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4. His name was Ellis Courtenaire. He was part of a security detail here in Martinez. A beautiful, strong man sent here by the honorable private military company Crenell. You know who I mean. Okay, so this is matter of fact because it's the actual... That's how we know of Ellis. We never saw him. This is... I mean, it could be, like, the truth, you know? It's a bit over the top, though. This is also kind of matter of fact. I'm not sure if it's any better or worse than saying it was the corpse in the ceramic armor. I'm not going to glorify the military side of this, and saying you know who I mean is kind of giving up on saying anything. So I'm going to just say he was part of a security detail here in Martinez.
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
did you kill him? Fucking tell this cop.
The kid puffs his chest.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
New task, extract a confession from the deserter. I thought we actually already had that as a task.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I don't need your cooperation, I've got this. Show him the Triangong 446. We've done the ballistics. Point to the tower. A shot came from this island. You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him. Come on, what am I forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of your head. Okay, let's back up for a moment. Tell me this. We've done the ballistics.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
He's practically admitting to it.
You said fascies, you're admitting you killed him? It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window in all of Martinez. The view was perfect. With a pair of binoculars I could have seen in the room. It is the best uninterrupted line of sight.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden twitch, then one more in his right eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
What am I forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of your head. This is a bit of a strange one, because Kuno and the deserter don't really have any context with it. But I don't want to show him the gun straight away.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh yes.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war.
Which means he must have physically been there, not just in the sniper's nest.
Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up.
Of course, thank you, Head, thank you.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa. some shit.
Show me the soles of your shoes, please.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet.
The maker is called Sensory, and the size is 42 to 44. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
So we have a drama check of easy 9. Wait, maybe it's simpler than that. Who cares about the shoes we've got you without the prints too? So this is a red check that I can't retry. And I've never put a point into drama, so why not? Just to make it slightly better. 97.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The kid gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. More. He's gonna crack. But you need a little more.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window. Show him the dried flower.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinaise, only here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinaise is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
Bet you've been sneaking around a lot. Hidden. Know any secret paths? Kuno knows paths.
The kid sounds agitated.
I may.
A curious tremor passes his face. A young woman named Classier, ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Classier.
He repeats the name with care, as if it were at risk of breaking. He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yes, Classier, you hadn't heard her name, had you? You like that name, don't you? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary. You hadn't heard her name, had you?
My ears don't reach the city.
You like that name, don't you?
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent, the muscles in his jaw twitch, spasm.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst. Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
Get him on everything. Okay. Alright, I don't need your cooperation. I've got this.
Got nothing to say about that boomstick, huh? You joking? That's the stick that did it?
Yes, it's a real gun. Not like that little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Now, is he referring to the Hardy Boy?
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
We saved a lot of them. Alain, and that musician. We handled it. Stop squirming, I have the murder weapon. Okay then. I've got the murder weapon.
You let them all die. Pranced around. Let your little friend be shot too. I didn't get a good look at that. Tell me, did he bleed out?
Don't talk to me about Kim.
I know what it feels like. I lost people because I was weak, too.
Shut up. I'm calling it. I have the murder weapon.
Who are you trying to prove this to, huh? Your friend. He's not here. He's dead, isn't he?
Task complete. Find the murder weapon. We've got 70 XP, and that level I put into drama means I've got another one back. He's not dead. He's in the hospital.
The world will rejoice when he dies. One fascia less.
He hisses, then glances into the reeds and twitches suddenly.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a rapist. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law. He was a soldier too. He was a man. So from what Classier told us, he wasn't actually a rapist. So this is false, and I've got no reason to suggest that Classier was lying, other than Volition telling me that my thoughts were compromised. He was a killer, but he was still under protection of the law. So this is, you shouldn't take life, even though he has taken life himself. And this is just the simple, he was a person, and it wasn't something that he deserved to happen straight away, or the way it happened. Yeah. I mean, So he's saying he wasn't human, dripping with blood, he was a man. I kind of agree with this. He was a killer, but he was under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner.
Would you have even had the chance? And I'm guessing this is the motive now?
Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
He looks you dead in the eye, pupils shaking. He breathes through flared nostrils.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Okay. So you shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger. Just nod, hold your breath. How did you... So with this, don't interrupt him, but also don't acknowledge or agree with him. Just hold your breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Task complete. Extract a confession from the deserter.
Fucking hell.
The kid looks at him for 1, maybe 2 seconds, breathing heavy with excitement. Boom, I got you. Me, the most boring cop on earth. I just fucking nailed you, super cop of Jamrock. Do you understand you're confessing to murder to a police officer? I just fucking nailed you.
Moronic, gloating psychopath.
He squints.
Now, a motive. You still need a motive. The confession alone isn't enough.
Wait, motive, why?
He could say he was taking the fall for someone. Insane. Coerced. It's useless in court without a motive. Don't mess this up.
New task, extract a motive.
Coax it out of him. He's still warm. They were fucking.
One more thing. Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
You always creeping on people through your scope like that?
The kid squints his eyes.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
Helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like what you see,
Click.
If it's part of the shit you see.
then you pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
So, in that case then, have there been other murders in Martinez that just haven't had our involvement?
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
When did you first see the deceased? What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder? Been looking at anything else you haven't liked? Iosef Lilianovich Drovus, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtenaire. That's it for now, old man. Stay put. When did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
Rich hag? By that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep. Let's talk about something else. You mean Joyce Messier?
Wrinkled up whore.
Whore. Good strong word, I use it often myself. What is it with these whores and pederasts? Aren't you a communist? Moving on, the victim arrived sometime after her. Aren't you a communist?
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in '04. My party, not your liberal masters.
He spits it out on the dying coals.
So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole. It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it, fiddling with their sexual organs.
Some strange glandular process takes place in him at the thought, like yeast rising. And anger too, in addition to loneliness.
Moving on.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and messed phalanx weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Whites?
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
For him to stop reacting to stimuli, to be broken off from the world, cordoned into darkness.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Being very casual about this.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood.
How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning. behind the Feld building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have a skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
And beautiful. What do you think she hid there? Yeah, let's say it. And beautiful.
That, too.
Oh, he agreed. Wow.
The sun came up, and her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on. Right there. She needed it just to move.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
So, because he knows exactly what it is, he's the one that took him.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
This is the hidden boy she told us about. You looked into it?
After she was gone.
Did you keep the materials? When I found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
This implies that he's thought about extorting her. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
Well, no, because her name isn't actually Classier. Okay, are you sure? I checked the submersible, there was nothing there. You saw her name on the passport, but before when I said her name is Classier, you didn't seem to recognize her. Moving on, did you continue watching her? Alright, well, let's say, when I said her name's Classier, you didn't seem to recognize her. But we know the name's not the right one.
You didn't say Clausia in there.
What did it say her name was in the passport?
It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember her face on the photo.
I checked the submersible, there was nothing there.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
Moving on, did you continue watching her?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
The bruises. Can you make that out in a scope?
Probably.
And the fact that she was a spook? How did he come to that?
First, you could tell she was a spook from the documents.
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses. Forged. Some sort of sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
And the bruises, you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle?
You can't see that through a scope. It's just a blur there.
He shakes his silver grey head. The reaction speed challenging 12. How does he know those minute details about her body? +1, footprints in the dust. +2, could have changed shoes. +1, found the peephole. So yes, he was there.